Hello and welcome to a special edition of Numeristicals Picks of the Day. We are coming at you direct from the Circa in Las Vegas. I arrived here yesterday, registered. They gave me this nice T-shirt. They gave me a room overlooking the famous Stadium Swim. So if you've never seen this property, they've got a huge screen outside, and you can't really see it from this angle, but they have a bunch of swimming pools out there, and you can just hang out in the pools and watch sports to your heart's content. They'll break up that screen and show 10 different games. It's pretty cool. I watched a lot of baseball there yesterday and got some bets down, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. But for now, let's start out again. Let's review our picks from yesterday. So here we are. So on our main line picks yesterday, we had kind of a split decision, though again the odds went in our favor. So the Mets lost the heartbreaker. They were up that whole game. I was watching that game in the pool. Um, they were up the whole game. They let the Phillies. They were up 4-3 in the ninth. Phillies were down to their final strike with the bases loaded, and Mets hit somebody. So that scored a run. Phillies tied it. They closed out the inning, but then the Phillies won in extra innings. So the Mets took a loss there after winning the whole game. I will say that bet was a nice one. It had good closing line value. So you see, we got it at plus 115. And by the time I got here to Circa, the Mets were actually the favorite. So that was pretty interesting. Second money line bet, the Pirates did indeed beat the Brewers. So we got a nice 1.31 units on that one. The totals bets also split decision. Blue Jays Orioles ended up being low scoring game. I think it was 3-2. And then the Royals and the Mariners, the Mariners pulled it out for the over by hitting a late home run. They were up 4-2, and they hit a 2-run homer to go to 6-2. That pulled it to the over. Those are the two bets I actually managed to get down here at Circa. They were the ones where I had decent odds. And fortunately, and for no particular reason, I bet twice as much on the Royals Mariners over as I did on the other one. So I came out ahead personally, and the picks came out up a fraction of a unit, 2.27 units up for the day. So we're up 4 units for the year on the mainline bets. On the spread bets, we had one pick, was the Mariners minus 1.5 plus 160, and that one did in fact win. Mariners won by 4, 6-2. So we got a win there, so up 1.6 units on that model for the day. But let's get into the picks for today. So let's give you the full slate. So now there's actually a full slate of games plus a doubleheader for the Nationals White Sox. I am showing here, I took out a couple games in what I'm showing here. And this is the first game. The Nationals White Sox is the first game of the doubleheader that I'm showing here. So here are all the probabilities. And again, after going through our filters, it's telling us to take a look at just 2 visiting teams. So for the 2 visiting teams it likes are the Marlins. It's saying bet the Marlins if you can get 184, which we're only seeing 166 on Pinnacle, so that's probably going to be difficult. But let's click in and see what we can find on the Marlins. So Miami Marlins, I've got to click over to money lines. So Miami Marlins, you see we're getting like a 162 or so, but we're not getting what it wants us to get a bet here. So we won't have a bet in that game. Next up, Cubs Braves. Braves are a big favorite here. It's saying take the Cubs if you could get 197, which is probably also a stretch, but let's take a look. Cubs, no, we're getting 177, but not 197. So does not look like we're going to have any sides bets today, money line bets. Let's take a look at totals. So again, here's the list of totals with a few games left out and the numbers the model came up with. And here it's got a few it wants us to look at. The first is the Red Sox Rays. It likes the under 9. Wants to get minus 107. So let's see if we can get the under 9 on the Pirates. No, and in fact, the 9 has disappeared. It's all 8.5s now. So we're not going to find a bet there. This might have moved in just the few minutes it took me to get everything set up. Because it says it was showing 115 before at under 9, but I don't think we're seeing that anymore. So next, let's look at a bunch of overs. So we got the White Sox Nationals likes over 8.5, wants better than even money. It's probably going to be a stretch. Washington and the White Sox. This is the first game of the doubleheader. Or actually, it's this game. Yes, so they mixed them up. This is actually the first game of the doubleheader down here. And this is the second game, 1:40 p.m. and 4:40 p.m. So they're talking about this game. And they're asking us to get 110 at 8.5 plus 110. So that's going to be a reach. Although we are seeing 105. So we're not too far off. We do see 105, 8.5. But the model's saying we get 110. So it's really looking for an 8, which we don't see. Okay, next up. So no bet there. Braves Cubs over 8. It wants you to bet at minus 120. And it's saying we already see 105, so that's good. Let's take a look there. Cubs, Braves. So here you see 8 over, we can get even money. Even money at 8 over. And actually, Circa's showing the 7.5 over at minus 120. And if you run the numbers on that, the model's saying you could bet the 7.5 at minus 130 even, or take the 8 at minus 120. So we'll do the 8 over at 100 for the for our official pick. We'll do the 8 over at 100. I actually already got some money down on this 7.5 over minus 120 at Circa. But it looks like actually the better value is the 8 over at 100. I think that turns out to be the better value in terms of how much edge the model thinks it has. So officially we're going to bet, officially in terms of our tracking our picks, we're going to take the Cubs, Braves over 8 at even money. So let's mark that down. So we got the Cubs, Braves over 8 at even money, 100. And that's the totals bet. And I already put some money down. I got the over 7.5 at minus 120. So the advantage of being at Circa, I get to actually place real bets, which is nice. Okay, next up, Brewers Pirates. 8.5 again wants better than even money. So let's take a look at what we got. 8.5. We got 8.5 across the board. We're not getting anything even money, so not going to find a bet there. Astros, A's. It's saying take the over 8.5. If you can get 101, so one slightly better than even money on the 8.5 for the A's. And yeah, we're not going to get close to even money here. So the 8.5 overs are already kind of moving to 9, and they're all, the best 8.5 is minus 115. So we're not going to find a bet there. Next up, Rockies, Padres, over 7. It likes it at minus 105. If you can get the over 7 at minus 105, they're showing minus 115, but let's take a look. Padres, Rockies. Here. Over 7, and we wanted minus 105. Not quite getting it. Minus 110 at circa. Not getting the minus 105 though anywhere. That's actually the best line it's showing. Is the 7. Yeah, minus 110. So close, but no cigar there. Finally, Mariners Royals. Again, same game. It's saying take over 7 if you get minus 107. Mariners Royals. That's over here. And now because 7 over, we're getting minus 118. But not quite getting that number that we want. So won't be placing a bet there. So actually it looks like we're just got the one totals bet. Let's see if the spreads have anything to offer. So here's the full list of spreads. Again, there's a couple of these games things, and you gotta be a little careful interpreting this because the way it works with the joins. But when we go down over here, it's telling us to take a look at 2 games for possible spreads bets. First is the Cubs Braves. It's saying to take the Braves, so it likes home teams. So it's saying take the Braves minus the 1.5 if you can get 123 with it showing 115. So let's click on over to spread, see if we can find that. So spreads, we gotta find the Braves. Minus 1.5. I see plus 115. But it wants us to get 123, and we're not quite getting 123. Even giving away the minus 1.5. So not gonna find a bet there. And finally, the A's Astros, saying take the Astros minus the 1.5. Basically, if you can get 118, and it says it's showing 118, so we might find a bet there. Let's see, A's Astros. Yeah, and in fact, we see here. So A's Astros, we got it here. 120 at a couple different, actually we got 125 plus 125 over here, A's Astros. So the Astros minus 1.5 at plus 125. So let's mark that down. That's over here on the separate one. So that's the Astros minus 1.5, and we said 125 is what we got. Astros, yeah, just double checking everything. Yep, Astros minus 1.5 plus 125. So that's it. That's all the bets we got for today. So it looks like on our sort of main things, no money line bets, 1 totals bet, Cubs Braves over 8 at plus 100, and then on the spreads, it likes the Astros minus 1.5 plus 125. Nothing on the straight money line. Unfortunately, the day I'm here in Circa, I would have liked to have 5 games that the model picked, but looks like we just really got these 2. So that's it. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow again from Circa. Bye-bye.